Hello my dear chess friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. I didn't post for a while and I hope I will change that. So today we'll take a look in the first lesson, I will say in this for let's say after some time. So how to beat the Grandmaster. Today we'll take a look in the game I played when I was like a 16 years old, so it was like a long time ago. So 2005 I played in Spain and I played for the first time against a very strong Grandmaster, Mikhail Libin. So that was like a very intense game, and like I hope you will enjoy it. This was my first win against the Grandmaster, and definitely this was a huge boost for me to improve my game and to also become a Grandmaster one day. So let's take a look here. I hope you will enjoy it. Here in this game, I had the white pieces, and my opponent had the black pieces in this game. So here let's start with e4, and my opponent played the move e6, so we are entering the French opening. So now after the move d4, d5, I played the move knight c3. As you know here, white here can, let's say this is like one of ideas to play blockade system or even to take ed. Ed, if you're checking the modern theory, ed move, it's like a more drawish one. So now knight c3, and after the move knight c3 here, black played knight to f6. Again here white has a couple of options here. Let's say the main option was e5, but one of my ideas was also to try somehow to, let's say, to put this grandmaster in the variation that he is not sure exactly what he needs to do, and I just had something like that in my mind. So let's say the first thing is, when you're playing against a strong opponent, try to prepare the variation that you believe you have a better knowledge than your opponent. So here in this moment over here, I played the move bishop to g5, pinning the knight for the queen on d8. So here after this bishop to g5 move, my opponent played the move bishop to e7, unpinning the queen as well. And now my point was that after e5, obviously attacking the knight on f6, here he played knight to f2 d7. Of course, after this move, I decided to take on e7, queen e7, and the whole point is actually right here. My plan was to jump knight to b5. Here, the main move for white is actually, if you're looking for the modern theories, the move f4. But here, I decided to play like a one rare idea. That's the move knight to b5, targeting the pawn on c7 right here. So now here, black has like two different options, queen to d8 or knight to b6. In this moment over here, my opponent decided to play the move knight to b6. Of course, now the c7 pawn is completely defended. Now you may ask, what will I do with this knight from b5? This knight from b5 will find the right way to go back. You will see pretty quickly how. After the move c3 that I played, I wanted first to just to keep these pawns intact. So now after the c3, of course, my opponent played a6, and now I don't have anything else to do except to jump back to a3. And here black now played finally the move c5, countering me in the center. And as you know, here you don't want to keep the knight in the edge of the board. Now I play the move knight to c2, trying as well to protect the center. And for example, what I wanted to do is, like, if he takes I want to stop the move queen to b4 from happening. So now after the move knight to c2, my opponent played knight to c6 developing, and now of course I continued with knight to f3. Last piece before his castling here, black played the move bishop to d7, and of course I'm developing my bishop to the move bishop to d3. I will say pretty natural moves for now, and now my opponent played the move knight to a4. Now as you can see here, let's say exactly this pawn at b2 is under attack. So here I have two different ways how to defend, with the queen and with the rook. Here I decided to play with the rook. So here we have rook to b1. After the move rook to b1, my opponent played the move b5. So here still he's expanding the queen side, and of course now queen to d2. Now my opponent here was afraid of the bishop on d3, so here he played the move c4, let's say blocking the whole position, and I felt that this move, I will say, was the first mistake in the game. So first, like, if I need to give you some advices how to play against the strong opponents, first will definitely be Try to pick variation that you're familiar with. Like I said, it's not so familiar for your opponent. Second of all, be patient. Wait for your chances. Here, my opponent was a little bit impatient, and here he played the move c4, blocking the center. Now, the point is, yes, he will move my bishop away, so I will play here the move like a bishop to e2. But downside of this move is that now when the center is blocked, I have enough time to go to attack the black king. So here, after the move bishop e2, my opponent simply castled, and now castle. Here, after this point here, black played the move rook to fc8, and of course, now it's a right time because the center, as you can see, is blocked. Now it's a right time for me to put my pieces toward the black king. So now, very important move for me, knight to e3. Obviously, my idea here is at some point to try to play knight to g4 and to just try to put the knights closer to the black king on g8. Now, after knight e3, he played the move b4. Idea of black is very simple. Black wants to launch some kind of like a queen, let's say queenside attack, so I can't attack his king very easily. But now after the b4, you still need to think, okay, what is his most dangerous piece in this position? And that piece is that knight on a4. So we need to do our best to destroy this knight on a4. And here I play the move bishop to d1, targeting the knight on a4. Here, nothing else except to take bc, bc, and now very important move from black. Black here played the move queen to a3, and here he offered me a draw. So again, one of the important things when you play against the high-rated guys, you can't be afraid, especially when you get a draw for in the positions where you believe you're feeling that you have a good position. Here I was pretty happy with everything I have, especially because my idea was to launch a very dangerous attack on the king. After the move queen e3, I was thinking a little bit. I declined the draw offer and I decided first to destroy, let's say, the attacker on the c3 pawn. That's this knight on a4. So here I first played bishop to a4. It's never easy to, let's say, trade the bishop for the knight, but sometimes you need to, let's say, look for the bigger goal. Here, this was my plan, so bishop to a4, and now he took queen to a4. Like I said, first what they get is that my c pawn is not under attack anymore, and what's also very good that this queen on a4 is such a too far away from protecting the black king on g8. So now I simply play the move knight to g4. So now my two knights are ready to attack the king on g8. In the time trouble here, my opponent actually tried to run away. He played the move king f8, I suppose with the idea to try to run with the e7 d8, somehow to try to run away. But now I decided not to let him, of course, obviously. And now I play the move knight to g5. The whole point with the move knight g5 here is obviously I'm attacking the h7 pawn, so there are not so many options because after the h6 I can easily sacrifice knight h6. So here nothing else to do except to try to go back, and here my opponent played the move king to g8. What's going on here in these positions? You always need to improve and you need to put new pieces in the game. Here the key idea is actually queen to f4. After the move queen to f4, the plan here is definitely to target the f7 as well. So here he played the move knight to d8, and I will say this is the critical moment in this game. So what I must do next? I was not sure, do I need to sacrifice the knight on h7, or I need to sacrifice the knight on h6, or what kind of things to do? And of course, when you're not sure what to do, the best thing is like actually to put a new piece into the game. And here what they did was very straightforward. I played the move rook to b2. The plan for such a move was just to infiltrate the rook. Let's say infiltrate is a good word. Actually, I want to go from e2, e3, g3, and then to attack the king on g8. My plan is to use the rook in attacking mode. So after the move rook to b2, my opponent played the move queen to a3. Idea, pretty simple. He wants to attack my rook, he wants to attack my c-pawn, and also he wants to go back to some of these squares to help his king on g8. But instead of that, I played rook e2. I just didn't care for that. Let's go all in attack. Here he played the move queen to c3, And of course, now it's a time for me to start sacrificing. After the move queen c3, my first move was knight to h7. With this move, I'm opening the king. Now it's a time for my pieces to just enter the game. After the move king to h7, now it's a time for the second knight to be sacrificed. The move here was knight to f6 check. Wow, so I sacrificed two knights against the grandmaster. So now he took gf, and now it's a time I was in a time trouble. First, I just gave one check, two checks, a little repeating, and now it's a time for me to put that piece from b2 square. So now I played the move rook to e2. Rook is entering the game, and now it's a very hard for black what to do because he can't stop all these bad things that will happen to this king. So now queen to e3, but now when he sacrificed this queen after fe, the problem is that my rook is also entered the game. So after the move fe, queen to f6, the game is simply over because after the move rook f3, the game is over because my rook will give the checkmate. So, like some of my advices, when you play against, I will do like a little recap what you should be looking for, especially when you want to beat the grandmaster and when you want to play good against the high rated. So definitely first pick the variation that's where you have a, let's say, upper hand. Here this idea with knight b5 pretty rare, but was actually pretty good choice against my exact opponent. Then try to play a good developing moves and try to put your opponent in that situation where he feels that he needs to do something concrete, like he did with the move c4. That was actually not such a good move because he blocked the center and he let me to somehow let's say easier attacking his king on a castle right now. So after this was a second, and the third moment here is try also to think about what he wants to do, what are his possible threats, where he wants to attack. So here after this bishop a4, queen a4, I defended my c pawn, and then when you do this very good defense, now it's a time for offense. And now after the move knight to g4 and knight to g5, he's like in a very tough spot how to defend his king because my knights want to just simply destroy him. And after the rook entered and two sacrifices, everything was over pretty soon. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson about how to play against the stronger opponent. Please subscribe to the channel, and then I hope to see you soon in the next video. Thank you.